Today is Thursday, July 3rd, 2025, and it is Yom Hamishi, the fifth day of the week, 7 Tammuz, the seventh day in the Hebrew month of Tammuz, 5785. The parsha of the week is Parshat Chukat, and today's Daf Yomi is Avodah Zarah 15. Daf 15. And I'm taking a little bit of time each day to describe the PL-89 calendar, the mathematical work that I have been involved with for almost 13 years now. And it is a lunar/solar calendar, or you might call it a lunisolar calendar, but not loony with L-O-O-N-E-Y, or maybe it is a little bit loony also, but L-U-N-I. Loony solar calendar, not Looney Tunes solar calendar, but maybe it might be. Anyway, this calendar combines the solar calendar and the lunar calendar and the Julian calendar and the planet Mercury, which now, as stated as of yesterday, is representative of any other planet or star. Because of the verse in Genesis 1, on the fourth day of the week, it says that Et ha-shemesh ve'et ha-yareach ve'et ha-kochavim. It says the sun, the moon, and the stars. That would include all planets and stars, everything else besides for the sun and the moon, for this purpose. And there's so many things to share about it, but I just maybe pick a few things each day. What is it meant for? It's meant to find some kind of mathematical consensus about reality based on a structure that is observable, a pattern and a structure that's observable, and there's always, you can check your work, so to speak, when you make some kind of a theory and if it's true or not. If the numbers match up, then they match up. We're good. At least that's one way of seeing it. Now, just because numbers match up doesn't mean that the two ideas are exactly the same. By far, that's not the case. There's two opposites that have the same number, and there's things that may not even be, that thing or that's opposite. It might be somewhere in a whole different realm altogether. What the number does is it takes two ideas and puts them together, and you now decide whether it's reasonable to say that they are equatable or they're contrasted, either compared or they're contrasted. So, today on the PL-89 calendar, it is July 3rd, and July 1st is 38, box number 38, July 2nd is box number 7, and July 3rd is 15. Why is it interesting that box 3 is 15? Because the Daf Yomi is 15 today, and some might think, well, there's like 1,000,001 other things that are 15 today. That might be true, but there's 1,000,001,001 things and a huge amount more things that are not that. And so to pick out one number and say that the date of today coincided, especially, it could have been 15. 15 could be a score in some sports game, let's say in a different country. Okay, that's possible that they won 20-15. I don't know. Sometimes 15 is football. I don't know football so well. I think American football, a score could be 15, right? So they won 15 to this, but I don't know about that. But here's the thing: someone else does. But what I know about is very important to me is the Daf Yomi, and that has a specific pagination system, and many thousands of people who do the Daf Yomi, who partake in this, who participate in the Daf Yomi learning program, which is a page of Talmud every day for 7.5 years, and it completes 2,711 pages of Talmud, and every 7.5 years starts a new cycle. And so today in Daf Yomi, they're in which is for July 3rd, or the 7th day of Tammuz. They are on page 15 of Avodah Zarah. But on this calendar, the box says 15. Now, do you think that's a coincidence? I mean, I'm inclined to think that that's not a coincidence. There's some sort of pattern, some sort of intentionality behind this, some sort of higher metaphysical mathematics, some sort of higher dimensional mathematics that determine that everything. I have a term for it. Maybe it's a term, chaos mathematics. It's how everything relates to everything else in numbers. And so the fact that I'm involved with Daf Yomi every day, and they're on page 15, and in my calendar, and it doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be interesting if it did that too, but it doesn't. It goes 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9. So I didn't do the probability on it, but the probability of today becoming 15 and Daf Yomi becoming 15 is 1 in who knows how many. But that's just for the Daf Yomi part of it. That's the July 3rd part. But let's not forget, that's the solar, but let's not forget it's also a lunar calendar. And the lunar calendar, there's a formula that is called the plus or minus reality system, and that's just a way of saying how many days difference is the Jewish calendar from the secular calendar. So today, if it's 7 Tammuz, that means that we're a +4 or a -4, depending where you're coming from. So July 3rd plus 4 is Tammuz 7. Tammuz 7 minus 4 is July 3rd. So you add 4 then. So 7, 15, no, today's 15, I'm sorry, 15, 24, 32, 1, 9. Today we are on the 9th, box 9 of the PL-89. What is significant about 9? Again, a lot of this might be very subjective. It's based on things that I see, but things in my world that I see. There was a date of Tammuz 9 that was given to me today. It had to do with the excommunication. There was a series of excommunications that the Vilna Gaon made on Hasidim in the 18th century. And I think one date was June 11th, and one day was Tammuz 9. Tammuz 9 was the second excommunication. Was July? I forgot what it was. It was in July of 1781, I believe. Yeah, July 5th now. Of 1781, which is very interesting because I'm just going to draw from yesterday's teaching that July 5th is like Tammuz 5, right? July and Tammuz are the same thing. But then the 5 of Tevis, if you know like astrology basically, like you'll know about the different tekufas, which means the cardinal months of each season. In Jewish law, you have it. Tekufas Tammuz, which we're in right now, the summer Tekufa. You have Tekufas Tishrei, it's the fall. And then Tekufas Tevis, it's the winter. And then Tekufas Nisan, that's the spring. But wait a minute. Tekufas Tevis is the 5th of Tevis can be equated now with the 5th of Tammuz. Of July, because July is Tammuz, right? So, and you can think of it like this, like in a secular example, you could think of the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn. I think there are books like that. But they're parallel to each other. But think about it. If the Vilna Gaon made a excommunication on the 5th day of July, on the calendar, it's going to be the same place. Whether you're in the 5th of Tevis, that's a huge day. It said whoever has the books of these Hasidim. Okay, but if you're a Lubavitcher, you'll know what I'm talking about. You have to be kind of in the inner circle. I'm not necessarily, I don't consider myself an all-out Lubavitcher, but I just know somewhat about them. Fifth day of Teves is a huge day in their world because it's a day that they received victory. They got victory. It's like Dida Notzach, I think that's what they're singing. It was in January or February of 1986, I think, or 87, around there, that there was a dispute over their books, and they won the court case that the Chabad kept the whole library from the previous rebels. Now think about that. The excommunication happened in July 5th, but then it's the same day. It's all in the same box in the PL-89. So what is the PL-89 really doing? It's unifying it's reconciling two opposites, through the sun and the moon, and through Mercury. Mercury is the reconciler. Mercury is what does that. And so if I can think about the Hasidim who are excommunicated, and then the Hasidim winning a court case, a smashing victory, and all of that, the excommunication, and it's all happening in the same box. What does that mean? That means the box is able to hold the paradox. And basically this is bringing some kind of a light to the Mashiach Torah. One ingredient is necessary, is to be able to hold a paradox in balance. And that's what this calendar is supposed to do. It takes the sun, which is one idea. It takes the moon, which is one idea. It's midrashic. It talks about the dispute or the jealousy of the moon and the sun, and it gives like anthropomorphic language to it. But basically, then those two ideas are reconciled in this calendar, and so that would be the 9. That would be the 9 of today. Another 9 would be something that came up as a minor point. That I went to a website that I usually don't. I haven't been to it probably over a year, maybe more. And I remember that there was one in the Torah scroll. There are today's Torah scrolls have columns, 42 lines long, and they're 245. Some say 248, but I think it's 245 is the standard columns. And when they were rolling a Torah scroll one time, I happened to look, and there was a pencil mark on this week's Parsha. When we were rolling it, I saw that Parshat Chukat is column number 177. And so I just, for fun of it today, since I remembered it, I typed it in. And it said that, in fact, this website, which has a picture of each Amud of the Torah and tells you which. It's called Ahavat Ivrit, I think, and it's very good because you see exactly the way Torah scroll is written, and you see what column, and it's like a standardized thing. And so it went through my mind when I read it. It said 42, and the English word 9, N-I-N-E, has a numerical value of 42. And that would be another 42 another 9 that comes today. 5 and 9 are the same. 5 equals 42, F-I-V-E. If you do like A equals 1, B equals 2, if you do that, then N-I-N-E is 42, and F-I-V-E is also 42. And so 5, we were talking about the 5th, remember the 5th of Tammuz, 5th of July, and the 5th of Teves? So 9 is actually 5. It's through 42.